Hello and welcome to Grace Sunday School. It's so good to be with you all again this week. I hope you all had fun, maybe doing something special for Halloween. Today in the church we celebrate All Saints' Day, which is a day where we remember those who have gone before us. So maybe take some time today to remember a special someone who has gone to heaven. I always think of my grandmother and my grandfather, and there's a few other special people that I've been blessed with in my life. So take a moment to remember those people. Today's lesson is from the Gospel of Matthew, the 23rd chapter, verses 1 through 12. So I'd like you to take some time to read that in just a moment. And I'm going to give you a couple instructions to think about while you are doing your reading. Our word this week is humility, or to be humble. How are we humble? And how does God and Jesus ask us to be humble? Jesus was very humble. He served everyone. Even those who maybe their status was below his, he still served them. That's showing humility and being humble. When we kneel for prayer, we're showing ourselves to be humble before God. We know that God is greater and bigger and more powerful than we are. So that's why humility is important. It's okay to have some ego and say, wow, I did a good job. That was great. But it's also really important to have some humility and say, I can lower myself. I can not feel like I have to be superior to everyone at all times. So, humble, humility. Remember that word today. I want to remind us of the words we've learned over the last few weeks. These are the words we're supposed to be practicing. Forgiveness, generosity, accepting others and myself, encouragement, giving, love, and now humility. So remember, those are our words. So let's look at our reading for today. Again, it's Matthew, which is in one of the four Gospels. It's the first of the four: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The 23rd chapter, verses 1 through 12. So I'd like you to take a moment, pause, and read this chapter and verses. And while you're reading it, I want you to look for two words: exalt and humble. See if you see those two words. Those are opposites. So exalt means to get all sorts of praise, and you get exalted, you get lifted up. And to be humble is the opposite. It means not acting like you think you're better than other people and kind of bringing yourself down a little bit. So when you're reading these verses, think about exalt and humble and where that difference is in these. So take a moment and read, and we'll come back together. Okay, so here are some questions to think about from this week's lesson. What things do you think people pay attention to? Maybe first they pay attention to what you look like, right? When we first meet someone, we'll look at them and think, okay, they're this old, they have this color hair and eyes and skin, and they're dressed like this, right? All those physical things, we'll check those out first. But once you get to know someone, or get to know one, you see them a little bit longer, you might notice facial expressions. You might notice how they treat other people. You will notice how they treat you, right? So just think about that. What do people pay attention to? What do you pay attention to when you meet somebody or when you're with your friends? What does Jesus say about doing things only to be seen. I know we're all guilty of that. Sometimes we want to slack off, and then if people are around, we're like, oh, I gotta get busy now. Better do what I'm supposed to be doing, right? But what does Jesus say is important, right? Or what does he say about doing things only to be seen? I think sometimes the best things we do are when people aren't watching. We don't care what they're thinking, and what, we're not doing it because other people are watching us, right? Now, what kind of actions are humble? How can you be humble? It can be hard sometimes because we like getting praised, right? We like being told, wow, you did a great job. Wow, look at you. Oh, you're so special. But what can we do to be humble? Kindness to a friend, kindness to someone who maybe is having a hard day. Saying, oh, maybe I don't know everything, and taking a moment to learn something new from somebody. I don't know. Think about that. What kind of actions are humble? And this goes with that. So how can you show your love for God with your actions towards others? It's lots of little things. I do believe life is in the little things, the daily little things. Do you thank your mom and dad for all that they do for you? That's a great way to show love and be humble. Do you take time to do something that maybe you weren't asked to do just to help your family out? That'd be a great way to show you're being humble. So think about that. How can you show your love of God with your actions towards others? It's a really important lesson for all of us to learn. I will tell you, we're going to have a couple things coming up for Christmas where you can maybe serve a family that isn't as fortunate as your own by buying Christmas gifts. We might have some other projects, writing letters to people who are maybe lonely, sending Christmas cards. There's lots of things we can do to show our love. So think about that. I will leave you with our blessing. So may God be in your head and in your thinking. May God be in your eyes and in your seeing. May God be in your ears and in your listening. May God be in your mouth and in your speaking. May God be in your heart and your understanding. May God be in your hands and in your serving. May God be in your daily practicing, because we want to be like Jesus. Amen.